How Jimmy Fallon builds rapport. Now, for the past 2 to 3 years, I've been deliberately trying to improve my social skills, whether it's talking to people, starting conversations, making jokes. And I've been studying people on the internet, some of the most charismatic people in the world, even talk show hosts, even politicians, to learn about body language. And one of the people that I've studied a lot is Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon, if you don't know who he is, he's a talk show host. He's one of the most famous talk show hosts in the world. And he's still thriving in the age of YouTube. Even though TV is fucking dead, no one watches TV. He's still thriving on YouTube. His talk show managed to adapt and still get lots of celebrities on every single month. And he's still thriving, but one of the big reasons why people like Jimmy Fallon on talk shows have been able to thrive, even though TV's dead, is because his show is actually good. Now, if you look at a talk show host, his job is to make the other person he's interviewing shine. His job is to sit there and make that person open up and express themselves and ask good questions and shit. And a huge component of that is building rapport. You can't just do that by asking questions and building no rapport. You need that person to be comfortable with you to some degree, to be talking on interviews, giving these awesome questions, being vulnerable, talking about embarrassing things, whatever. That's how he's getting the clips. That's how he's still managing to thrive, even though TV's dead. That's how it is. So Jimmy Fallon had to develop this rapport skill. He had to get very, very good at it because he needed it for his show. And I studied him, and I'm going to go through what exactly Jimmy Fallon does to build rapport in his interviews to make that other person shine. So in your day-to-day life, you can go up to people, naturally build rapport, naturally be one of these social beacons who are walking amongst the population, just talking to people, striking up conversation, very smooth, no social anxiety, and your life's going to be much better because of it. So that being said, I'm going to break down just how Jimmy Fallon builds rapport with people. Now, the very first thing that Jimmy Fallon does, I actually want to show you the clip. So I'm about to play this clip of Jimmy Fallon, and I want you to see what he does when Will Smith gets to the chair, basically.
Welcome back to the show, bud. Looking good.
What is up, man?
Thanks for being on the show. It's a big show for us because we're following the NBA game.
I know.
You're on NBC, and I know that you're a big basketball fan.
Yes, I used to.
So I don't know if you noticed, but when Will Smith got to the chair, Jimmy Fallon instantly was like, hey, nice to see you. Thanks for being on the show. You're looking good. He was showing that he was excited to see Will Smith. And that built surface level rapport. Because imagine if Will Smith walked up and Jimmy Fallon was like, hey, how are you? What's up? Have a seat. You need to be excited. You need to show some excitement. Show that you like the other person to some degree. Show that they're excited. Show that you're excited that they're there. So Jimmy Fallon was like, hey, you're looking good. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for coming on. He was showing that he likes the other person. And that built surface level rapport. And this is something that you can implement into your own life. When you meet people, meet them with high energy. Show some excitement when you're talking to them. When you first be like, yo, Peter, what's up? You know, show that you're excited. That's going to get them to open up. It's going to get them to feel good. And it's going to build surface level rapport. They're going to feel much more comfortable. Right? So it's extremely important right off the bat to set the frame for the whole interaction. Now, the second thing I've noticed that Jimmy Fallon does, I'm just going to play the clip right now, and you can take a look.
This is Jaleel White going past you and Reggie Miller.
Wow.
I mean, do you remember this?
What is that? That's what the MTV is. That's the Rock and Jock. Rock and Jock. Yeah. That is. I mean, I thought Reggie had him. You know.
He got past.
I think Reggie Miller, like he should have been able to stop
something. Yeah.
Like Urkel, like you know.
Exactly. You're gonna let Urkel go past.
Yeah. Because I was defending somebody else.
Now Jimmy Fallon, he does this probably on a subconscious level. He probably doesn't even know he's doing this. But in the clip, basically it's Will Smith and Jimmy Fallon's talking about how he got a picture of Will Smith getting basically crossed up and sauced up by a fucking toddler, basically, when Will Smith was an adult. So he was kind of like teasing Will Smith in a way. However, you can see that when Will Smith is saying like, yeah, I mean, it's Reggie Miller. So Reggie Miller is an NBA player. He should be able to guard the fucking toddler, basically. So basically when Will Smith was talking about how, yeah, Reggie Miller should have had him, whatever, Jimmy Fallon's agreeing with him. He's like, yeah, I mean, obviously you're Reggie Miller. He's like, yeah. So he was agreeing with him. And what this does on a subconscious level is that it takes two strangers and it places them on the same team. It's like some sort of connection. Like, I don't know if you ever met someone, but let's say you meet someone that plays soccer and you love soccer. You're naturally going to have that connection once you find out that they like soccer as well, because it's something in common. So that's the second thing that Jimmy does. He doesn't even notice he's doing this. But what Jimmy does is that he builds some sort of commonality, some connection. He's not being combative. He's like agreeing, yeah, you're right. He's agreeing with ideologies. He might find something in common with the other person. And he's just making that connection to make more rapport between the two people. Imagine if Jimmy was like, yeah, you should have had him, Will Smith. You're a fucking 6'4" black dude, NBA star. Like, you could have went to the NBA if you wanted to. Imagine if he said that. Like, how, that's not going to build rapport. He just agreed. He let it slide. He agreed with his ideology, basically, in this case. You can do this with other stuff, like finding something in common. Just find something that you can both agree on and be on the same level, like the same playing ground, basically, so that you can progress with rapport. Now, the third thing that Jimmy Fallon does to build rapport with people, I'm going to play the clip once again. I want you to look for it. Look for what Jimmy Fallon does to build rapport in this clip.
Time with Robert Pattinson.
So you're driving 150 miles an hour in this whole movie.
Not to mention, Gwyneth Paltrow, who hasn't acted in 6 years, is phenomenal. In
She's
this
back.
Movie. She's back.
Amazing.
Odessa Zion, star of I Love LA right now.
Yes.
HBO Max. Shout out
She's
Rachel Sennett.
fantastic.
Yeah, she's amazing in this movie. And Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank.
Yes.
I thought we would go, boo. No, I'm kidding. No.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, but Jimmy Fallon was like slightly annoyed that this one guest, the guest was Timothée Chalamet. He's deemed as one of the most charismatic people. I mean, I kinda agree with that, but basically Timothy was just talking, kept on interrupting Jimmy Fallon, didn't really let him go on with what he wanted to say. Jimmy Fallon was like slightly annoyed, but part of Jimmy's job as a talk show host is to get the other person to talk, get them to open up. This is something that Jimmy's supposed to do. But also in day-to-day life, like if you get someone to talk about themselves and you're actively listening and you're hyped up listening to them, they're naturally going to feel more comfortable. Rapport is going to be built there. And I heard this quote that the fastest way you get someone to like you is to get them to talk about themselves, because everyone loves talking about themselves to some degree. Everyone's a narcissist to some degree. So if you get them talking about themselves, naturally, they're going to have a good time in the interaction. So that's what Jimmy's doing. And it's part of his job, yeah. But in a way, it also builds rapport. Like, that's part of his job, to build rapport. So that the other person can just speak and give all these elaborate answers. So he's letting the other person speak, which is building rapport. And the very last thing that I've noticed, that I've seen Jimmy Fallon use to build rapport, and this is more of a frame. It's not necessarily a tactic. It's just a frame. A state of being that he's doing. I want you to look for it in this clip.
Yeah, he was in the zone, so fair enough.
When did you realize that it was going to work, when you guys had chemistry?
I mean, we had one phone call before we started shooting, and I kind of went, I've put the pedal to the metal with my anxiety, and like every single day I did the most extreme version of my personality, just like full frontal on a face, not full.
Oh my God. You're in so much. I know. You're in so much trouble. This is great for our show. Trust me. No one's gonna clip that out. No. But you put everything out there. I mean, your feelings,
Yes.
I like emotion.
Yes, emotionally.
Emotionally, we got what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was very understanding.
So, Robert Pattinson, if you don't know who he is, he's fucking Batman, basically. So Batman, he made this fucking joke that's not really that funny. I mean, it wasn't really a joke, but he said something that really wasn't that funny. But everyone started laughing, Jimmy started laughing. And Jimmy's doing this, he's easing back and laughing easily. Like, he's laughing at things that are not like fucking stand-up comedy level shit, you know? It's just like slight funny things, but he's chilling there, sitting back, having a good time, and just laughing and having fun. That's what he's doing. And in a way, since he's sitting back and having fun, that's building rapport, because people become friends alone just because of fun. Like, people think that you have the most fun with your friends. I'd reverse engineer that and say that the people you have the most fun with become your friends. That's why they're your friends, because you have fun with them. So people have relationships alone based off fun. That alone can build a whole fucking friendship. So if you can be someone that's always having fun, if you can be someone that's an easy laugher, who's just laughing and chilling and just making jokes and having a good time, then you're gonna have more friends that you can count on your fucking fingers. You're gonna have multitudes of friends, and you're gonna be building rapport with people, because people feel comfortable around their friends. When you see your friend, you instantly smile and you start laughing and making jokes. It's the same thing here. You feel comfortable with that friend you're laughing and making jokes with. It's the same thing here. Jimmy Fallon's laughing at simple shit. He's just sitting back having a good time, but in a way that builds rapport. It lightens the mood a little bit. It makes people comfortable. It makes them laugh. It makes them feel at ease. And that's what Jimmy Fallon's doing. And all of these components of building rapport was essential for Jimmy Fallon to have all these guests come on, have these guests that want to come on and talk to Jimmy, have these guests come on and actually give elaborate, intricate answers in their interviews. And this has made Jimmy Fallon a multi-millionaire pretty much from this show. As far as I know, I think he became a multi-millionaire from this show. So that just goes to show you the power of building rapport and being someone that's socially smart. One of these social beacons that I love to talk about. These guys, they fucking rule the world. They walk through life on easy mode, pretty much. Their life is fucking easy. They don't have anxiety going through their day. Their life is fucking amazing. So for the past years, 2 to 3 years, I've been implementing all these small tactics. I've been analyzing charisma, analyzing the most charismatic people in the world, getting clips of it, breaking it down at its core, and getting more and more clips into my fucking library. And I basically compiled a whole bunch of clips from the most charismatic, influential people in the world. And I put it in the communication lab, where I learned to implement all these things into my psyche so that I can go around living the best life I possibly can without social anxiety. And I've compiled it in a way in which anyone who wants to completely and utterly change their life, go from socially awkward to socially sharp, go from someone who's a fucking shy, scared, timid guy to someone who's confident in social interactions, that is charismatic, and just feels like the man all the time. I've compiled it in a way for the shy, timid guy to transform into this guy, this confident Chad, basically. And if you want to go do that transformation for yourself like I have done, and I've managed to do, I didn't even know it was gonna happen. I didn't know it was possible until I fucking did it. And now I live life day to day, much less social anxiety. I feel fucking fantastic. I feel confident. Life as a whole has improved because of this, because of social skills. And I cannot live my life. I can't believe that there's people still out here living their life without building social skills, living life timid and shy and fucking glued to their phones like fucking losers, bro. I don't give a fuck. They can stay on their phones. I'm gonna chill here. I'm gonna live in the social realm. I'm gonna have the time of my fucking life. I'm not gonna waste my time here on planet Earth. So if you feel the same, if you want to make this transformation, I have all of these clips compiled from the most charismatic, influential people in the world, and these lessons that you can implement into your life to make that transformation in the communication lab. The link is in the description if you want to change your life.